Alright, what's up guys? Sage from Midwood here, and today it's a pretty special day because brand new Dr. Z X-Ray is here. I just got to spend a couple hours with it, just playing, just getting to know it a little bit, and man, is it sick. You've got basically the Stingray and the DB4 DNA kind of all mixed into one. If any of you guys remember the Stingray, it's kind of quintessential, spanky, clean, bright, just wonderful with the Telly. One of the earlier Brad Paisley collab amps that Z did. And then the DB4 is one of the later collabs with Brad. And it's a little more aggressive, it's more dirty, it's just got more kind of punch to it. So this amp is kind of both of those put into one with all the features we like to see now. Post-phase inverter, master volume, half power switch. It's got an effects loop on the back. But the volume or the tone in the cut circuit is the same as the Stingray. So basically this is super dark, and as you roll clockwise, you're just letting all that top end kind of presence come through. And with the tone knob, it's really active. All the way left is going to be really thin and bright and not a lot of low end. And as you roll it up, it's just going to keep getting fuller and fatter and meaner and all that good stuff. So the preamp tube on this thing is going to be the same one that was in the DB4. It's sort of like an EF86, but it's an American version, an old NOS RCA version. And it's a little chewier in the low mids. It's got a little more grunt to it, if that makes sense. So it kind of balances out the amp, because the amp wants to be really bright and spanky, but that tube really, like you'll notice with the Les Paul, just it gets real chewy in the low mids, and that is just one of my favorite things. I noticed that too in like the Z28 Mark II. It kind of has that same kind of feel to it to me. So that plus it's tube rectified, it really has just a nice soft feel to it. Even though the attack is pretty immediate, just it has this chewiness to it, and hopefully it comes across in the demo. There's plenty of clean headroom on this thing. It stays clean for quite a while. I mean, probably somewhere around in this range, that kind of 10, 11 o'clock. Even up at noon, depending on how your right hand wants to be, it can be pretty clean. I do, in the demo section coming up, you'll see I hit it with a Vimram ODS1 to kind of show you how it does take pedals, which is fantastic. And then I'll tell you a little bit. I've got a speaker cabinet stacked on top of a speaker cabinet here too. This one has the Retro 30 in it, which is the one that comes in the combo. And down here, this cabinet's got a Creamback in it, and this is the one that I mic'd for the demo. It had a 57 and a Royer 121 on it. The Creamback to me was not quite as bright. Just seemed a little more kind of full in the mid-range, and not that super ultra chime stuff that I feel like the Retro 30 does really well. But for the demo purposes, you're hearing it through a Creamback, some really nice mics. Alright, so that's just bridge pickup, kind of edge of breakup. You can see very dynamic. I could just pick easy, it's clean. I could dig in, it's dirty. Let me push it a little bit more little closer to noon, I'll do some of those same kind of sound and stuff. You see just the sag and the kind of punch that just comes out of the bottom end. It's just, and again, this is with full power, master, all the way open, because we can, so we should. I would consider that a perfect tone, and my my ear likes to hear that really nice. It's like the top end is just so open and just so clear, but the bottom end has this like pillowy kind of squishiness to it that is just so sick. So let's see. Let's what do we want to do? Push it some more? Oh, you know what? Let me clean it up. Kind of get back to where we were, and then I've got a Vimrum ODS1. Kind of like their like nobles on the floor. So let's just see how it takes an overdrive pedal. Let me clean it up even more. Show you just how sparkly clean. And then I'll roll the cut back just a little bit to get a little more top. Yeah, that way it's a little more just kind of squeaky clean rather than that edge of breakouts. Yeah, that's pretty silly. All right, back to noon. Let's see what happens if we just push the amp even harder. Let me roll the just to kind of balance it out. As the tone moves forward, you get more bass and less treble. So let me roll it back this way a little bit just to kind of thin it out, and then I'll kind of bring that cut back some more. So that it kind of levels out those trebles, and then we'll just push this thing. What's a good key? What's a good key we haven't played in? How about D? Let me do that same tone, but I'll roll the cut back a little bit more. Kind of warm it up. There you have it, with some beautiful Throbak SLE 101s in a Les Paul. All right, so that was it with the Les Paul. You can see kind of from clean to mean, everywhere in between. It really loves humbuckers, which these kind of 30 watt, 84 type of amps, to me, they clear up humbuckers. That kind of keeps all that kind of muddiness or darkness out and kind of just really balances it out to where it's just really smooth. So love this amp with the Les Paul. Hard to beat. And then let's go on and I'll let you hear it with the Telly, because obviously it's got some Brad Paisley DNA in there. You got to hear it with the Telly. I can't play anywhere close to Brad Paisley, or I can hardly play a Telly. It feels like a foreign object. But anyway, I did my best. Here it is, and then also I'll go through and show you how all the controls work in real time so you can hear what those are doing. Alright, so here we have it with the Telly. Kind of that edge of breakup setting, still full power, still master maxed out. So I feel like this is probably a pretty good time to go ahead and show you how the controls actually work on this thing, because they are really different and kind of unique. So let me show you how the tone knob works. All the way left is going to be like really kind of thin and bright, all the low end's kind of gone, and as you move right, all that low end's going to fill in, and it's going to roll off your top end a little bit. But the feel and the tone, I mean, it's massively active. Like, it makes a huge difference in the tone as to where that tone knob is. And then the cut's going to just kind of fine tune that top end to keep it from getting too harsh. So I'll just put it at noon here, cut and tone, and then I'll sweep the tone and show you what's happening. So you can see the spectrum on that is insanely wide, like even unusable at both ends to some degree. But somewhere, to me, for this Telly, I kind of like it pushing 2 o'clock because you're still getting all that big bottom end, but it's still letting a ton of that top end through. So let's kind of stay right there, and then I'll do the same thing with that cut knob, and you'll see how much control you have over the top end of this amp too. That is glassy as can be up there like that. I mean, I'm not much of a country picker, but I mean, I feel like if you really wanted to put the spank on it, just leave that cut off. Like I said, I'm no country player or a Telly player really, but you can see how just that top end, there's so much information there. You can really just kind of find the sweet spot no matter what guitar you're on. So let's push it up with this Telly, get it right back to where I had it. So you got the tone about 1 o'clock, the cut at about 11 o'clock, and then we'll do the volume at noon. And let's put on that Shanks ODS one more time too. fun sound. All right, now since we're in that setting, let me just show you how the master sounds, and then we'll do the full and the half power. So full power. Half power. Back to full power. So again, full power is a little more aggressive, a little brighter. Half power feels a little spongier to me, and a little rolled off on the top. And then since we're back in full power, I'll just roll through the master for you. Cool, yeah, sorry I'm not playing a bunch of like super hot licks or anything. I'm just really trying to show off the amp and just kind of everything that it's capable of. For 4 knobs and a switch, there's truly no sound that you can't get out of this thing. It's insanely versatile. Let me try to do like a smooth, kind of silky, like stratty thing on the neck pick of this, just to see if I can do it. So I'll go half power. I'll probably bring the master down just a little bit. Roll the cut back. Tone up. Yeah, let's see where we're landing. There you have it. This last section that's coming up, this is a Baranik RE1. It's a really funky guitar of mine. It has this a Goldfoil pickup that's just really broad range. It's got a ton of lows and a ton of highs and just a lot of everything. I just thought it would kind of be cool just to see how the amp handled it, and I'll just play out with that guitar just because it's cool. There you have it, the brand new Dr. Z X-Ray. Such an incredible amp. If you have any questions about it, give us a call here at Midwood Guitar Studio. We would love to talk about this one.